Austin St. Jean is the co-founder of Dippidi, which is a digital marketing agency and platform tailored to real estate agent professionals and teams. Since it has been founded in 2019, Dippidi has been helping agents, teams, and brokerages with their marketing and helping build their digital presence online. Dippidi serves a diverse clientele across the US and Canada. And today we're diving into Dippidi's newest white glove service, offering fully customized approach to your needs. And in case you missed our last interview, I'll be linking to that in our description below. So Austin, let's dive right in. Can you share what inspired the creation of this newest product offering?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is first off, thank you again for always having us on and just always rooting for us and supporting us. Thank you so much, Elena. It's been a pleasure working with you and excited to kind of showcase this. But the Flywheel advertising system that we've been building out is actually a brainchild of the Flywheel. It is a marketing philosophy in which we'll showcase here a little bit deeper, where we're trying to attract, engage, and delight strangers into leads, leads into prospects, prospects into customers, those customers into promoters, so those promoters can help refer more strangers into leads, and so on and so forth, to create that flywheel. So you can attract leads in many, many different ways. You could go to host an open house, billboards, email, mailers, TV, radio. There's a million different ways that you can attract strangers into leads when it comes to your real estate business. But what we wanted to do was be able to build that out all digitally. So we wanted to complete that flywheel and complete that system to attract, engage, and delight across strangers all the way to promoters through various ad campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and potentially YouTube if you do have some video content to submit to us.
Cool. So you just said a lot of words that I think a lot of people have never heard of before. So, including myself, until we had our last, until we just spoke recently. So, can you break down what the difference is and what the flywheel is? 'Cause we've all heard the word funnel and sort of like what that looks like with like top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel, and that's what we all should have heard before, or at least familiar with it. So, how is the flywheel different from that sort of traditional way of thinking with marketing?
Yeah, great question. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Let me go ahead and do a little tab here. And are you good on my end, Elena? Can you see this?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is the flywheel. You'll notice here that it is a wheel that starts here at the top to attract, engage, and then delight. Are you able to see my cursor as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So basically the goal is to try to attract those strangers into leads, engage them into prospects, and delight them into customers, to then, notice how it's a wheel here, continue spinning. A funnel typically is larger at the top. And let me go do this real quick. Let's just say we'll be able to get a visual. The goal is to be larger here at the top. Well, we're going to websites, no worries. And you'll notice here that it's awareness, discovery, evaluation, intent, purchase, and loyalty. But with a funnel, you're trying to capture as many people as you can at the top and then get them all the way down to the bottom, and they eventually fall out of the funnel. So you lose this ability to be able to continuously get back in front of the customer. So in this scenario, this wheel is constantly spinning and constantly churning, centered around your client or customer to, again, attract, engage, and delight. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah. So, what does attract mean?
Yes, attract. So like you're wanting to attract new leads into your system. So basically, you're trying to figure out how to build up that database to where you can get new names, emails, phone numbers of buyer and seller leads.
Okay. So, what are some examples of what Dippidi does to attract? Because I know there's not like a one size fits all or one particular ad campaign that you do.
Right. So there's many ways that you can attract people. So we'll kind of break that down here. Kind of the first step in the attract is to generate leads. When you're attracting, you're trying to get strangers to be able to provide information in exchange for some sort of value. So there's multiple ways that you can attract leads and generate leads into your system. You have some top of funnel campaigns you can do on Google search. So Google search campaigns, this could be leveraging your IDX. This could be leveraging tools like Real Scout or Fellow or many others out there to capture leads. So basically, you're going to be driving them to a landing page. A good example would be people looking in. We got a client in Jupiter, Florida. He focuses on waterfront homes. So we could be bidding on keywords waterfront houses for sale in Jupiter, Florida, and then placing an ad in front of them. So let me go ahead and try to actually share one more time, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to go to infinity here for just a second, Elena, and then I'm going to open up Google. So on Google here, if you were to type in exactly what we just did, waterfront houses for sale in Jupiter, Florida. This is a way to attract leads into your system, but you would scroll down. These are some opened up ones. You'll notice these sponsored ads here. These are one ways to attract and one ways that Dippidi actually helps set up in this service to get back in front of people who are looking for waterfront houses in that area. You can swap this out with anything. If you focus on a community and your IDX does bungalow style houses, bungalow homes for sale in Lakeland, Florida, you could build that out and make save searches around that. Lakeland bungalows for sale. So there's multiple ways that you could basically get in front of the target audience looking for houses for sale and attracting people to your website. Because if you'll notice right here, this is indeed your site. So if somebody were to click this, they then get to an IDX site where they can then click again, and you'll notice a pop-up occurs. So this is where you're able to capture lead information in exchange to see the property details. This is one way to attract leads on Google specifically. On Facebook and Instagram, you have multiple different ways you can attract because you have a little bit more creative control in terms of pushing content in front of news feeds. So I'm going to go over 4 different ones here to attract. One's going to be IDX property list. So this is kind of similar to what we just did on Google. This is getting in front of people who are looking for new construction houses for sale. It could be bungalow style homes for sale in a specific neighborhood. It could be 5-bedroom homes. It could be homes that are deemed short-term rentals. It could be investment opportunities. You can really build out your unique IDX list based on what you can do with your IDX website, and then create a creative around it, like you'll see here, to try to capture leads in exchange for this property list.
Now, earlier you had mentioned like a few different things like Real Scout or I don't know. There's just so many out there. Do you work with your clients' existing providers, or do you ask them to use like your own or your preferred? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it really just depends. Depends on what you're using. If you were to have something like Real Scout, Agent Fire, Fellow, there's many techs out there. We basically would do a tech audit, be able to see if we can use it on your behalf, and then be able to use it for you in some of these campaigns. Now, like when I show you an example here on this next one, we'll likely be using some third-party tools that we'll be using on your behalf and setting you up with an account for. This is a Go High level account that all of our clients in this program get a sub account for, so we can build out what I'm about to show you, some unique funnels and things of nature. But if you do have tech stacks that we can use on your behalf, we will be able to do so.
Cool.
So one way was those IDX property lists. So we're obviously going to leverage the IDX website you have to capture those leads and then basically redirect it into your CRM. Usually it's Follow Up Boss for most people. We do also work with Lofty, Sierra Interactive, and multiple others as well. But a second option to do in attracting new leads in your system is eBooks. So I kind of brought up here creating a funnel. I'll showcase that here, but here's an example of like a broad way to go about it. This is a way where you can actually now really attract any type of lead you want. Recruiting, buyers, sellers, a niche within those buyers and sellers, maybe a move-up buyer, or even a first-time home buyer, whatever it may be. We basically are going to need to make a creative that would attract them. We're going to need to make a guide or a lead magnet that would attract those audiences. So in this scenario, you see in this example, a little bit more broad, it's the standard of selling real estate. This is a generic seller's guide that we made for a client. But I'll dive a little bit deeper in this example here in the funnel of one where we're trying to attract investors. And so in this example, you'll be able to see want to invest in Florida real estate in 2025, discover how. And we built out this entire funnel, all the copy, the landing pages, and we built a subdomain on top of their root domain. So you'll see that here. This is their root domain. We just put sell dot to build out different funnels and landing pages. And when somebody fills out this form, there's something that a lot of people really like. We can do phone verification. So if you were to have problems where you feel your lead quality is not good, you're not getting accurate phone numbers, things of that nature, this does have a feature where it will text my phone. I then have to put in the code before I can even submit the form. So now we can kind of guarantee that you're getting 100% accurate phone numbers for everybody that fills out this form here. That step 2 in the ebook side would then take them to this funnel where we can go over the ebook that we actually created for the client. So it's 49 different pages on this one, all around that topic of how to buy an investment property in 2025 in Florida. So this content is very narrowed. We do write the copy. We do manage the graphic design, build out, and production of the entire campaign. So everything you're really seeing today is done for you.
Do you ask your clients to give you any content to help you write it, or are you doing your own research and writing the content?
Yep. So it is completely up to the client. Some clients are more hands-on with that. Some are more hands-off. So completely up to you in terms of that collaboration. Once you sign up with us, we jump on what we call our advertising strategy meeting. We're going to talk through the various ways that we're going to attract. Did you want to do an ebook? I'll show you the third one here, IDX website, and we'll basically have a good session of trying to figure out how or what we're going to build out for you. And then if you have content, we'll uncover it at that point. Like these photos you see here were provided by the client. So that way it is looking local to the market. So you can provide that type of content. You can provide some statistics if you'd like, or we'll go in and do research as well.
Cool. So did you have others? Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's the ebooks there. The third way to attract is webinars. So we can make an evergreen webinar. This is a great example of like a first-time homebuyer masterclass we did, where again we build out the funnel here, collect the information, generate the lead, what you're going to learn in this masterclass, who's it for. This is for first-time homebuyers. And then that step 2 actually goes, once they fill out their info, to watch the masterclass. We help the client produce that masterclass by crafting the questions that they would ask and make them a subject matter expert. This is a 30-minute masterclass we did with Julie Essig here. And we also create like a step 2 where they can go down for an offer. So you already got the lead into your system, but now we want to give them an offer to try to get an appointment booked. So this is a first-time homebuyer roadmap that she wanted to do. We help map that out, and it actually will collect that appointment directly on her calendar. So that's a third way you can attract. And the fourth is actually the lowest hanging fruit of all, listing ads. So we offer an a la carte service for listing promotions. So you don't even have to be in our program. We can actually just work with you on listing promotions, where we do an onboarding call. We get access to your Facebook and Instagram ad accounts and pages, and also Google ad account, or help you set it up. So you can submit Facebook and Instagram listing promotions or YouTube ads. This is where that YouTube ad kind of played into the scenario here. So a la carte, you pay as you go, no retainer, and then you just choose the ad spend that you want to highlight your properties. We'll capture leads, drive traffic, retarget, everything like that through here. But this is a fantastic way for you to attract leads. They get the most engagement. They get the most cheapest clicks, cheapest cost per thousand reached, everything. Listing ads typically do the best. So if you have a listing, this is a great service to tap into.
Very nice. So besides, without getting into your secret sauce, besides targeting location, when you're doing specifically, I know you can't do it on Meta ads, when you're doing like Google and YouTube ads, besides targeting location for where they want to reach their target audience, are you doing more audience targeting for ensuring you're not just getting random leads that you don't really want?
In terms of on with
The
these
attract.
attract campaigns,
Mhm.
yes. So it really just depends. So basically, when it comes to Facebook, you have some limitations in the sense of you can geo target 15 miles at the minimum radius around your target location. So if you're focusing on a city, that may work out depending on your city size. But you can narrow that by interest. You do have a selective amount of interest, but you can get creative with it. For instance, if we want to get in front of homeowners because we're doing a seller's guide, there are interests that we're able to get in front of to make that a little bit more narrow and try to know that we're getting in front of homeowners. The same would apply for buyers. There's different interests that we're able to narrow down on the Facebook targeting. The goal of Attract, though, is to get in front of strangers. So you're not really retargeting at that point. You're just getting in front of new eyeballs that are wanting to consume your content in exchange for the value.
And then I know you just showed 4 examples, and that may cause, even though the number 4 isn't large, that might cause some of your clients to feel overwhelmed by the 4 options. Do you help your clients decide which of the 4 they should choose?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, really, what we're trying to uncover on the call when we jump on with them is, all right, talk to me a little bit about your business. So, this is the initial call. This is like just the discovery. So, we can kind of prepare for the advertising strategy meeting if they were wanting to move forward. Um, so, we'll be able to determine, like, all right, well, what's your niche? There's some people focused on buyers. If so, maybe the IDX property list make the most sense. Or if you're okay with getting in front of video, I would probably always lean masterclass because when somebody becomes a lead through there, it's unique. Not a lot of people are doing that in their markets. And so you can actually get a pretty affordable lead, like that Julie Essig one, for example. I think we're right around 10 to 15 bucks a lead. It fluctuates month to month. But that's $10 a lead coming into her system and watching a 30-minute video of her providing value and educating them. So that goes a long way in terms of just looking at properties. You might be able to get $7 to $10 a lead on those property lists, but it's a different exchange of content. The masterclass is going to build more trust with that audience. So as we jump on, I'm a long-winded answer is, yeah, we definitely do help them uncover what their business is actually already doing or what they hope to do, and then we'll help kind of tailor the best option for them.
That's great. So next on the flywheel, I think it was engage. Can you share what engage means and what some examples are of that?
Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to engage, you've already attracted now. Remember, those are strangers you're trying to turn into leads. So you've done that through the different lead magnets. But when it comes to engage now, you're wanting to get back in front of people who have already engaged with your brand. So they've been on your website. You can do website retargeting. They're already a part of your database. So they're in your Follow Up Boss CRM. This could be past clients, Sphere. This could be leads you've gotten from Zillow, Realtor.com, Facebook, Google, many other sources, Ylopo, whatever it may be in the past. Your database is built up, it has all these contacts in it. You want to get back in front of that with database retargeting. The third one is social media retargeting. So getting back in front of people who have engaged with your Facebook business profile or Instagram professional page, whether they've liked, commented, shared, viewed videos, etc. We can get back in front of them so that you can try to turn some of that organic marketing is like a hamster wheel. You're constantly producing content, constantly pushing out new videos. So all those views, you can now try to get back in front of them to see who in that audience is ready to speak to you. And so when it gets to the engaged standpoint, it's all retargeting, but it's a mass retargeting. So you're getting in front of essentially anybody that's engaged with your brand online. Might have handed them a business card at an open house. They went to your website. you can now retarget that person and now get back in front of them with your offer online. So what we do in that second campaign is create an irresistible offer. So what that would look like is, let me pull up here. An example of that would be this. Why sell your home with Jeff Cook? If we talk about Attract, it was ads that were value based in exchange for something, a cookie, if you will, right? So giving out property lists, or giving out an ebook, or giving out a webinar or a masterclass. Where in the engage standpoint, we now want to get back in front of those strangers that are now a lead, as well as all of our past data that we have in our database, as well as everybody that's engaged with us on our website and social media profiles with our actual offer. What is it that we actually do? How can we actually serve this person? Are we a buyer's agent and focus really strongly on buying, helping people buy? Are we a listing agent that helps people list? Do we have a niche offering? For instance, we've helped people in probate, where they acquire probate data. So we use that data to attract to an ebook. That's how we're generating inbound leads off of that list. We then engage them with the offer around how they're a specialized probate agent. And then the third step I'll show here shortly. But this is an example here. Why sell your home with Jeff Cook? Get top dollar quickly through our unmatched marketing and technology. When somebody engages with this, they would go to another funnel where you want to try to explain in detail what your actual offering is and try to book an appointment through that funnel. So in this campaign, those attract ones are all optimized for cost per lead. This campaign is actually optimized for cost per appointment booked. And they're going to book directly through the calendar on your landing page. So an example of this would be, this is a very unique one. I like to use this in the example. Your home sold in 29 days or we pay the difference. And it's like, yes, you read that right. When we jumped on with this client in discovery, they actually told us about all these programs they offer, but they've never, ever marketed them. And when they said that, I was like, wait, you have a program where you do this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, that's what we need to push, because that's going to be the most enticing to get an appointment booked through your ads. So we do this. We helped them uncover what they had as an offer. So that's part of the advertising strategy meeting when you sign up, is helping you create your offer. And then we'll build out the funnel for you, write the copy, do everything here, talk about what's included. And the goal of this is to get that strategy call booked. And again, when somebody clicks this, they're filling out that calendar. It books it directly on your calendar. And now we're able to track with your ad budget on Facebook and Instagram, what was the cost per appointment booked.
Well, what if someone has like more than one offer that they want to advertise?
Yep. So in that scenario, like let's say they are buying and listing agent in that scenario, you would strategically build out that offer to try to attract both. And maybe it would be like how to buy and sell simultaneously. Like there's multiple different ways that you can kind of cut that cake. But yes, we would basically try to uncover that in the call, try to figure that out and build something together.
And then I have kind of a similar question to what I asked about Attract. What if someone you're working with has never really thought about what their unique offer is?
That's part of that advertising strategy meeting. So when we're in that strategy meeting, we're uncovering, one, what are we going to do for a lead magnet? Who are we trying to get in front of? Two, what is your offering? So we'll actually sit there and ask you a series of questions to try to open up and uncover an opportunity where we're actually collaborating with you on crafting that offer.
And then a final question before we continue is, I'm sure, I don't know if I'm saying the right word. I'm sure you've heard like ad fatigue. So after a certain amount of time, if you're showing the same engage ad to the same remarketing audience, I'm sure they kind of just become blind to it. So how often do you refresh or recommending refreshing that ad to something different?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, we monitor a metric called frequency. That's going to be in your Facebook Ads Manager as we're running these ads. And it shows you how many times each individual has seen the ad in the audience. So once that number hits a certain threshold, then at that point we need to start at least creating new ad creative for sure. And that way it has a new mix out there going. You may not need to change the offer per se, but you may need to start mixing in some different ad creatives in there. And then obviously if the offer's not hitting, then it's going back to a meeting and trying to figure out another offer we can do so we can test around it. But ultimately, we're looking at metrics like frequency to be able to monitor that ad fatigue and make more ad creatives for you.
Got it. Okay, so then the third piece on the flywheel was delight. What does delight mean?
Yes. So delight to me is actually the most impactful, even though it is the smallest of the audiences. It is literally retargeting to your database. So what you try to do is build out a campaign solely focused on re-engaging your database. So many people do this with text messages, emails. You do a great job of this with key technologies, right? Like you help people when they generate a lead, re-engage that database through automated text and emails. What we do is we take that database, export it, import it into Facebook and Instagram, and make an audience so we can do the same, but in their news feeds. So we're going to do that by creating a blog on their website once a week and then creating graphic designs around it and then retargeting just that database on social media. So that way we know everybody in that database that we were able to map profiles for is seeing your content in their news feed. And this is more value-based content because you already have the lead. Now the goal is to keep that lead engaged. And so we do so by retargeting your audience with education because it's going to warm up the call list as your team is reaching out. And Follow Up Boss, for example, you can put a Follow Up Boss tracking pixel on your website and you can track all that activity. It doesn't just have to be properties. It can be blogs, pages, things on your site. So we're trying to drive them back through blogs because we feel we get a really affordable cost per re-engaged lead through blog content. We have a client right now getting 30 cents re-engaged leads that are coming back to his site to read his blogs, all from his database. He's able to see that list in Follow Up Boss through Smart List because you can build a recently active um, uh, lists. And now he has a call list of recently active leads. So when he reaches out, they're more likely to convert into connections and appointments.
And is that retargeting on Facebook only, or do you do that elsewhere?
Yep. So it's Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook's audience partners, which can be sites like ESPN, BuzzFeed, Forbes, etc.
Okay. We've always heard that video is king. You had mentioned, and especially like the attract that if someone is comfortable being on video, you really favor the evergreen webinar. Do you ever ask your clients if they're comfortable converting those blogs into videos? Like, have they ever done that?
100%. I literally two calls before this meeting today, I just got off with a client and we were going through his blogs and sending over the list because he has his videographer in house with him, and so he was looking for topics. And I was like, you have to piggyback off the blogs because you can actually send that to your database in an email. You could put that in a retargeting ad on Facebook and Instagram. There's many different ways to regurgitate the blog itself. So yes, 100% coach people on using the blogs as a way to convert it into a video script and make short form videos out of it.
If someone wanted to just completely say, no, I want to turn that blog on my website into a video, can you help them do that?
So in terms of scripting it, we could help them maybe like make a short form video script. They would have to capture that video. And then in terms of editing, we do have some video editors, so they could send that over if they wanted to do like more so project based video editing.
Yeah. And then let's say they go through the effort, they make the video, it gets posted on the website. Does the ad look any different, or do you recommend keeping the ad graphic based?
So when it comes to the ad and clicking to the website, I would probably recommend it being graphic based. It just depends on the way they go about the video. If they're producing the video as a short that kind of gives a sample of what the blog is and tell them, hey, click the link below to read the full blog, yeah, we can use a video all day for that to try to drive traffic off. If they're actually going to script the video to where it's more of just the entire value all up front, that call to action could be a little bit different, where you make it a harder call to action and maybe schedule a call. Just because instead of reading the blog again and like getting a written form, you might have just gave all the value up front on the video. So it makes more sense to give a stronger call to action at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about these three phases. What was the first one? Attract. What should an agent do when they see someone engage and come in with these three phases? What should an agent do when a lead? Let's start from the beginning. What should an agent do when they see a lead come in through an attract ad?
Yeah. So when a lead comes in through an attract ad, you want to be able to also have, it depends on basically the ad you choose, but you're going to want to have systems in place too, like automated texts, automated emails, things of that nature to follow up with those leads. So Key Technologies, great way to go about doing something like that. You want to call that lead as well. So you do want to block time that speed to lead. I think stats are like, if you call within the first 60 seconds, you have the highest rate of connection through there. So calling the lead for sure, and setting up those systems and processes to text and email are something you're going to want to do with the attract side. On the engage side, the goal there is to get an appointment booked. So make sure you're showing up to appointments when they're booked. And then on the database re-engagement side, on Delight, you just want to be able to basically make a smart list in Follow Up Boss. One I like to do is, if you go to filter, make sure you have the Follow Up Boss tracking pixel installed on the site. Go to filter. Last activity is less than 7 days ago, with calls made more than 7 days ago. So when's the last time you called that person? I haven't called that lead in 7 days, but it's been on my site. They've been on my site in the last 7 days. So that's a list of people I now know I want to call this week, because they've been on my site. I haven't called them. I should call them.
Cool. Makes sense. Yeah, that was a conversation we were having on our last meeting. Is there's only so much that marketing can do to take your business to the next level. Like, you can build your digital online presence and create leads for you and attract people. You can even book an appointment. First, you have to show up to the appointment. First, you have to call the lead initially, and then we have the same conversations here at Key Technology. There's only so much an automation can do. It might be able to get an initial response, but then you need to pick up the phone. You need to be the human and develop that relationship. So both can get you further, but at the end of the day, you also need to put in the work. So that was definitely a conversation that you and I were having on our last conversation, our last call.
100%. 100%.
So final question for you, Austin. If someone wanted to learn more about this flywheel approach with Dippidi, where should they go? How can they book a call with you or someone on your team? What does that look like?
Yeah. So what I want to do, anybody watching this, if you know Elena, you're a friend of mine. So I want to give a 10% discount period on our pricing. So be sure to email me. I think it's going to be the best way to go about this, at Austin@Dippidi, DIPPIDI.com. Kind of weird spelling, but Austin@Dippidi.com. Shoot that email over and mention this video with Elena, and I'll be sure to apply a discount as well to anybody that wants to join.
Very good. Thank you, Austin. I really love this new way of thinking, and that it's not just a dead end of a funnel, but rather a continual cycle that you're continuing to show your brand out there to leads and people online with the attract, engage, and what was the last one? Delight. I love it. I'll remember it one of these days, soon. I just got to keep saying it. So,
Yeah.
I hope to implement this in our business soon. Like I mentioned, we look forward to personally working with Dippidi as well in the near future. So love what you're doing at Dippidi, and thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Elena. It's always a pleasure.